Hello and welcome to your weekly Angel Oracle card reading for the week of August 25th, 2014. As promised this week, we're going to be doing an extended reading. So as opposed to it being the normal 3-card, first part of the week, second part of the week, third part of the week, today's reading will be a 10-card, what's known as the Celtic Cross, although I'm just going to lay them out linearly for this purpose. And it's kind of going to look at the week as a whole. We're going to get into, the situation we're facing this week and kind of how we're going to process it. And I'll explain each position and what it means for us. So, let's begin. So our first position is represents the situation, what this reading is basically about. So, the first card we draw is the Knight of Fire. Now, the fire suit is wands or staves in the traditional tarot, and this suit really deals with what you're passionate about. Now, it's a court card, meaning it would be, if you're thinking of a traditional deck of cards, it would be the Jack, Queen, King, Ace. So it's a court card, and court cards are listed. You see at the top of the card here, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. Oftentimes when we see a court card, it's using these descriptive terms to bring someone to mind. So this situation may have to do with a particular person in your life or that you're dealing with right now. So keep those descriptive terms in mind. Now the card reads, a sudden event that needs immediate action. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So as we go through this week, something has either already came up for us or is coming up for us. That, and I just got a ding on which is confirmation, which means that it's something that is going to need, like the card says, our attention. So we have to deal with this situation quickly, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't take time to really consider all the options. Now this doesn't, this is a neutral thing. Any information is neutral. It's what we make of it, whether it's good or bad. So this can sound very foreboding, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Even good events and good happenings that need decisions made still have to be thought over. You don't want to rush into anything, no matter how good it sounds. So there's something to think about as things are coming up, or you're processing things that have already came up, maybe at the deadline's coming up for them. Just a little bit of thought process. So the second card of this layout represents the current challenge affecting this issue or situation. That can also be termed as what we don't have or what we're in wanting of. So for this scenario, we're still in the fire suit. It's still about what you're passionate about. And typically when we see this, and when this card comes up particularly about abundance, it's about you want to work in what you're passionate about. What you want to do, what brings you joy, but sometimes that doesn't always make you financially secure. So it kind of fits in nicely here. So the card, 3 of Fire, and it reads, abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time. Make long-term plans. Now, because this card, and Angelic Tarot does not recognize inverted cards or contrary positions. The only time that we look at a card in the meaning of lack or something like that is if it specifically comes up, like in this reading, in this position where it's telling you, well, these are the things that are causing you concern, or these are the things that you have to think about when it comes to evaluating the situation. So in this case, the challenge of the situation is the lack of abundance, or your longing for abundance, or abundance is restricting you from maybe be able to make a quick or clear decision on the situation. So we'll see how, as the reading plays out, as you look back, a lot of these cards make more sense. So I just wanted to explain that in this position, this is a very good card, but in this position, it's more telling you about this is the concern within this situation. And usually it's a lack of or desire of, in this case, abundance. Now we enter the position 3 of the layout, and this represents like the basis or the root of the situation. And we draw another knight, and this is the earth suit, which deals with finances, material things. And of course, being a court card, it has those descriptive words that can make you bring someone to mind. And here we see loyal, dedicated, honorable, kind. And again, it's the Knight of Earth, and the card reads, time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments, a guardian angel. And what that usually means is that have faith that while you're going through this time and things may seem a little tumultuous or scary, that your angels are with you, helping to guide and protect you. And in the end, we have free will, but this is a sign that they are supporting us in this direction, that this is the direction they want us to go in. So this again is the root of the situation. So whatever is going on right now that you're dealing with that has come up, the key to this is to really buckle down. You know, the early card said about, you know, thinking things through and all that. So it's something that you really want to be serious about, because what they're telling me is that this is going to, depending on how serious you are about it and how dedicated you are to whatever this is, will dictate how well it all works out for you. And this clearly is going to have to do with specifically financial abundance, as well as happiness with the outcome of whatever this is, a job, whatever, a relationship, whatever this may be. So let's move on and see what else they have for us. So now in our 4th position, which represents the past as it pertains to this current situation, maybe the events leading up to this situation. The past, anytime you're dealing with time with these readings, and I've said this before, it's not really relative, because past could be yesterday, past could be 3 lifetimes ago. But just the situations of the relative past is what this card represents. So here we have another Earth suit, again, financial, material things. It's another court card. We see Queen of Earth, descriptive terms, thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible. Again, that could be calling someone to mind that may have something to do with this. So the message here is, make time for those around you, take a sensible approach, deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So what I'm just overwhelmed with right now is this card for me is about release. So coming into dealing this situation, there may still be some unresolved or some kind of swept under the rug situation relative to this situation that from the past you've kind of maybe just stuffed or put aside. And I think they're telling you to process that and maybe give full release to it, so you can enter this current situation, possibly with the same person that those challenges came before with, kind of with a clean slate. That's just what they're kind of giving me for this one. So it's about processing stuff that maybe you still have down inside or you're harboring to deal with this particular person involved with the situation. And do it gently and with caring and understanding. And you know, as you move forward through the present, which is going to be the next card of the situation, be sensible and you know, very diplomatic with dealing with this person moving forward. Okay, so now we move to position 5. And position 5 represents the present of this situation, which is where we are today, moving through this week as this situation comes to its full culmination. And here we have the major arcana, number 20, renewal, Archangel Jeremiel. Review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. Now, the last card they very strongly gave me, and I'm looking at these cards, even though you're seeing them digitally on the screen, I'm pulling these cards as I'm giving you this reading audibly, vocally here. So these aren't stuff I've already drawn ahead of time, and I've already reviewed them. So I may giggle now and then because it amazes me how these things flow together so nicely. So here we see renewal. Now I just got done, they kind of channeled through me the diagnosis of our last card about processing something to do with this person so we can start with a fresh start and move forward in a mutually positive manner. And now we see for the present here, renewal. You know, we're renewing that energetic bond. So the current situation we're in is all about renewal. So look as whatever situation it is that comes up for you, because you all will inevitably have different situations that this reading will apply to. Look very much so when you're going over your options and you're looking at all sides of this, when you're slowly and carefully evaluating your decision, to look for opportunities to make this a renewal. Look for opportunities in the present that you can have a fresh start with someone or with something or a situation, whether it be, again, jobs, relationships, however this applies to you. Look for that opportunity, or understand that this opportunity is your chance for a renewal of that circumstance. So now we're moving into position 6, and this represents the future. So if you've noticed, the last 2 cards in this card is the past, present, and future of the situation reading, much like it's like a mini 3-card reading within the greater 10-card reading. This is what would typically do for a 3-card reading. So it represents the near future, or relative or perspective future, as I like to phrase it, of this situation or concern that you're getting involved with. And we have 6 of water. Now, water deals with emotions. That's your emotion suit. In traditional tarot, it's cups. And so in this particular one, we see memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. So as we move forward through this situation, you're going to be, we've had release, we've had some renewal, but I think there's going to be some issues as you move into the situation fully that come up. That doesn't mean they're bad issues. It doesn't mean that it is harmful or in any way negative. It's just there's going to be some things. And the fact that the card physically states romanticizing the past, I think there's going to be some feelings that may emerge for you that may be very retrospective of how things used to be when times were good with this person or with this situation. And that's okay. Just you can't let these emotions kind of fog over the status of your relationship with that person or this situation as it stands today. It's fine to reminisce, it's fine to remember the good times, but don't let that confuse you or get you off track of the stipulations of your current condition involving this situation or person. So position 7 now represents your power or your influence on the situation. Sometimes it can come across as what it is you're looking to get out of it or why you're getting into it. So for this week's purpose, for what we're getting into, this situation that pops up for us or is resolving for us over this week, we have 10 of air. Now air is traditionally swords in traditional tarot, and these are action cards. This is taking action. So here we have the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change, and expect things to get better now. We also have on here recovering from addiction. Now, addiction cards, all the time I've been doing this, I still get a little funny when addiction comes up, because I don't want people to assume that I am making assumptions about them. This applies more to when I'm doing one-on-one readings. I have a very broad definition of addiction. I understand that there are addictions that go well beyond substance abuse, alcohol abuse, things like that. In this case, you may be trying to quit smoking, or you may be trying to give up caffeine. There's lots of things that this could mean for you. So with that in mind, think about and process what it is that you may have something that you are dependent on, or that you enjoy but may not be the healthiest for you, that you could release, that will help better your position within this situation. That's kind of what they're giving me for that one. So the key of this all is that your power in this situation is that you are putting an end to a difficult situation by doing this. And they're telling you to embrace this, and things are going to be getting better as we process through this. Okay, so now we're in position 8. Position 8 represents the effects of people around you. Oftentimes, when I do these readings for people in person, cards 8 and 9 will flip-flop. So 8 is by the textbook, so to speak, represents the effects or influence of those around you, and 9 represents your your hopes or your fears or joys and concerns, however you want to phrase it. Sometimes these flip-flop, and I know that once they're both out. So if that happens, I'll kind of mention about it and touch base on it. But for intents and purposes, I am assuming, and I'm asking, this is just going to go by the book, so to speak. So for this position, the effects or influence of people around you, we have Page of Earth, another court card. Descriptive terms, which could bring someone into your mindset about this, especially somebody who'd be influencing you in this situation. Scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. So perhaps someone you're getting involved with for this situation, or however this situation applies to you. Keep someone in mind who may match these descriptions, and they're either going to be advice givers or going to be a partner with you on this, or maybe just as the situation is, if it's a spiritual group or something like that, they are going to have an aspect of kind of easing your financial woes, and they're going to be excited about this project you're getting into, and either this could be a new area of study for them, or they could be influencing you to get involved in something that's going to be a new area of study, so to speak, for you. That maybe give you a little challenge, but challenges are wonderful, because if you do the same mundane thing all the time, you get bored, you don't even have to think about it, and you're not engaged in the present. So when there's a challenge, it exercises our full consciousness as a whole, and so it's good stuff. Now again, that's your outside influences, people around you. Okay, so position 9 now. We're nearing the end of our reading. Position 9 represents your hopes and fears. Hopes or fears, I should say. So depending on the card we draw, and depending on how you receive this card, will give you information on either like your hopes or your dreams of this situation, or what is giving you resistance to the situation. Now the card we've drawn is Major Arcana number 9, the Hermit, as represented by Archangel Raziel. The message for this card is spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. So depending on how that resonates with you will hopefully address your hopes and fears. Now, if it resonates with hope for you, I would simply translate this message for you as in saying, this situation you're getting involved with is going to perhaps give you the opportunity to do some self-exploration as well as some spiritual expansion. And I would highly recommend, as would the Angelic Collective, highly recommend to you, setting aside a little bit of time a day to meditate, to help that expansion happen more clearly and easily for you. If this card resonates with you as a concern, I would say that maybe your concern for this is you're not going to have time, because you're getting involved with this, to take those quiet moments to yourself, to have that time alone, especially if this is a relationship thing and maybe you're moving in together. Maybe you're afraid you're gonna lose out on that singularity of that freedom of singularity, I guess is the word I'm trying to say here. To take those quiet times alone, to work on yourself and be able to go within. But they're telling me just to rest assured there'll always be time for that. And regardless of the situation you're getting into, You have to make time for that. And with that understanding that you have to set your border, set your boundaries, and say, look, this time, this is my time, or I'm going to go do this right now to nurture myself, that whatever the situation is bringing in for you, that will be allotted. It'll be seen to that happens for you. So have no concerns if it comes to that. Now, our 10th and final position represents, of course, the outcome, the potential outcome as this plays through for you. And in this final position, we have another major arcana. So this brings us to, I think, 3 for the reading now, which means there are definitely a lot of the Angelic Collective is working with you on this, guiding you. And this is the Empress, as represented by Archangel Gabriel. I view her as a motherly, loving energy. So typically, she actually is looked at as a feminine energy. So for these intents and purposes, I will say Archangel Gabriel. Anyway, the card reads, lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. Now, this just plays back to that concern card about nurturing yourself as well as everybody else, but take time for yourself. And obviously, as you've processed everything and you've moved through this situation, you are in a position now for the happy ending. Understand, when this card says lavish abundance, it doesn't necessarily mean financial abundance. If you carefully look at the imagery on this card, she's holding a child. She's surrounded by nature, loving animals. Abundance, and I've touched base on this before, is a vague term. Happiness, health, love, friends, family. These are all life abundance issues. It's abundance, but it's not specifically financial abundance. That being said, we've been touching on financial abundance through this whole thing. So I think it's like a total package deal. I think there may be some financial abundance as well as life abundance. But if you start out with life abundance, don't get impatient and don't ever get that feeling of like, oh, well, I thought I was supposed to be abundant. Chances are you are abundant, but it doesn't always show in the the bank account right away. So I always give that little cautionary tale when it's the word abundance is there and it's not a coin suit. It's not earth suit. So all good stuff, as it always is. Everything seems to be playing through very well for everybody here. And again, I hope this reading meant well for you. Now that you've gone through the whole thing, you may want to go back and watch it again so you can have a better overall aspect of the reading. As you then review each card, it may mean something a little more clearer to you. Just a reminder, please visit www.advancedangelcards.com. The site has recently begun a facelift and is fully functional now with an included workshop section for upcoming live workshops we'll be doing. And there'll also be on there information on any web streaming workshops we'll be doing in the near future here. You can also visit www.theangelicollective.com, as that site too has been slightly updated. And several channeling sessions have been added to it. Some audio files, some text files. There will be some video channelings happening in the next month or two that'll be posted up there, as well as some meditation recordings. All this stuff, of course, will be linked on the Facebook page, www.facebook.com/advancedangelcards. You can like that page and keep up to date with everything that's happening on the websites, as well as live events, weekly roll card readings, and daily readings. Thanks for watching and have a blessed week.